Hey, what's up everyone? Ben at ProFixer, and today I want to talk about screen adhesive. Sometimes you don't get the really nice pre-cut ones and you get these more generic style. At least that's what I always thought. But these are actually precision cut to fit on the particular device that it's made for. I picked this one up with Injured Gadgets for the ear speaker that I ordered because I had to pull this screen off, break the seal, and I wanted to put good adhesive on there and not have to hand cut it. So I always order these whenever they're available, but a lot of times people tell me that they're useless and that they don't actually work. Today I'm going to show you how these actually work and how you can make this a little bit easier on yourself, because once you figure out the trick, they're extremely easy to use. So let's get started. All right, so the adhesive that I got is this one in particular. It comes in this little bag, and it has this little bluish gray backing on it, and it's a black dark gray adhesive with the white back on the other side. These are actually precision cut for whatever model you buy them for. I bought them for a bunch of different ones and used them, and after I figured it out, it was extremely easy on how to work it. So basically it does have, like, even down to the notches, as you can see there, for each side of the ear speaker. And whenever you compare that over to the back side of the screen, you'll notice that there's a weird notch on either side, and it matches up with the cutout. So they're very precision cut. The things with these is you do want to remove most of the adhesive that you're not going to be using, and that's the key to it. Some of the Samsung adhesive comes really well pre-cut, and they basically remove all the negative pieces for you right away. This particular one, we'll have to do that here because they don't do all that extra legwork in the factory. So going and removing this, always just kind of take a look at it and figure out which side goes to what. You'll notice that on this particular one that we do have the little cutouts for the cameras, and if we compare that, it shows that we should lay this on the frame itself. It doesn't actually go on the screen like on Samsung's. So what you'll do in this particular case is you say, okay, well, this is the way that I want to put it. This white side is the part that does go down. So what you'll do here is you want to just start working on the back side and removing all the negative pieces. So get some tweezers and pull these off. Just like that there. All right, cool. So this whole piece is what you want to remove, and you're just going to discard it. You could actually keep it if you wanted to, you know, for some other kind of adhesive, but I don't really recommend it. It's a big piece of junk. So throw that one away. Now what you have left is what looks like a Samsung adhesive template, which is really nice. These, you know, very precision cut, and it's starting to look like something usable. So if you compare this now, because you have the cutouts on it, you'll notice that, yes, it actually is cut perfectly, and it would lay down just fine. Even down to the corners right here. You can see that on the corners themselves they are notched, and that is to help because on this Pixel 2 XL it has the beveled edges that are super beveled, more so than an iPhone I believe, and this will help the adhesive bend around those edges, which will make it sit super nice. One thing that I always do though is I always put a little bit of primer around the edge of the frame and also on the back side of the screen, so I'm going to do that now. Alright, so the primer, we keep it inside these little vials, and makes it a little bit easier. These little dropper bottles, actually not really vials, but it keeps it a little bit easier so you don't spill it all over the device. You don't have to open up the big can, but it's just 3M Primer 94. I'll have that linked up in the description below as well, so you can pick up some for your shop, but this is an adhesion promoter. This makes the adhesive stick much stronger to the frame itself or on glass or really whatever you're sticking it to. They use it for like commercial applications for vinyl car wraps and things like that around delicate edges, and it works extremely well for holding screens on. So basically we have it in this dropper bottle. I just drop a little bit on the edge of this, kind of get that a bit soaked, and then work carefully around the edges. You want to make sure that you don't touch any of the cameras, because this will totally destroy a camera lens. So definitely be careful around the cameras, and also be careful on speaker meshes. You want to make sure that your frame is completely clean, so we've actually pre-cleaned this ahead of time. So definitely clean that up with some isopropyl alcohol. Basically, the Primer 94, you do want to let it sit. It does need to dry all the way. You don't want it to be wet in any way whenever you put your adhesive on there. And go ahead and apply it to the screen as well. Being careful not to go over any kind of proximity sensors or camera lenses or anything like that. And then as well, ear speaker meshes, you want to be very careful because if you do put a lot on areas like that, it will it can actually clog those, because this is like a more, it's pretty viscous, but it does have a thickness to it, and it does thicken up. One thing I will warn you is if you do put the screen sideways or in the wrong position, even by just like a millimeter, it's probably going to be stuck the second that the adhesive touches. So that is something to watch out for whenever using Primer 94. You do have to have some laser accurate placement of your screen itself, because if not, it's going to be very difficult to pull it back up and to replace it. So we're going to set that off to the side, and now we're going to go ahead and put this on. Just like opposed to Samsung's, you do put this on the actual screen itself. These we're going to be putting it on the frame. And I'm going to pull that off. And remembering which one was the top and which one was the bottom, go ahead and just line it up using the little camera corner there to line it up as accurately as I can. And getting a little crooked there. All right, kind of straighten it out. It's a little bit difficult. Sometimes you'll get them super straight. Sometimes you'll get them a little bit crooked. But generally, either way is okay. So I'm going to go ahead and push this down now that we got it in the correct spot. I use the back side of my tweezers in order to get around the corners, and also just to press it down really in any of the areas. It's nice because you can make it stick a little bit better. Using the back side of the tweezers, it'll help definitely to push it in. Kind of working around the edges there with my fingernail. And this is a pretty easy time, but just make sure that you get it on all the edges. That's the main point. You know, I've seen a lot of times where the adhesive isn't pushed down, and then you go to pull the blue backing off, and then it ends up peeling it off. So make sure you stick it down and definitely work it in as well as you can. The thing with this is it does have this little cutout, which makes it easy to pull this off. So you can go ahead and grab right inside of there, if I can actually grab it, and you'd be able to pull that off, and it should, well, I guess it's not cut all the way up. That's okay. Well, there we go. We'll just forget about that blue tab, and now you can pull this all the way off. And if you look, we have adhesive around the entire edge, which makes it super nice. So very well placed. You don't have to worry about trying to cut it or put all the little pieces here and there. So now we're going to go ahead and put these other, or we're going to connect the connectors now at this point. All right, going to connect those if we can get them connected. Cool, there we go. I'll put these little covers back on there as well. All right, cool. So before you go ahead and stick it on there, because at this point it will stick down super strong, go ahead and turn your device on and make sure that everything is working. All right, cool. So this one is powering up. So let's go ahead and put a little passcode there, and then you can test the screen, make sure it has all the touch on it, that doesn't have any kind of spots in the LCD. Everything looks good. I would recommend testing it fully as far as calls and things like that. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to go and lay this screen down. Which as far as laying these down, the best way that I have found is, also, of course, ensure that your flex cables are in the proper positions and that you do lay it down according to those. But this particular one, you just kind of lower it in and make sure that you can either start at the top or the bottom, but just make sure that the screen is butted up against the edge. And as long as it is, then just kind of run your hands up the top or run the hands up the side, and that will ensure that it stays straight. And if it has any micro adjustments that it needs to make, hopefully it'll be able to make those, and then pretty soon you'll have the top and the bottom fully adhered and be completely smooth. So I definitely, after I figured out how to use these adhesives that are kind of, what people call generic, they're actually very precision cut. Once I learned to use those, it's an extremely easy process once you figure out to remove all the negatives first and then to apply it to the frame in most cases. So hopefully this helps you out. A little bit longer tech tip than we normally do because we like to keep those down to like the 2 to 3 minutes. But this one is a little bit longer, but I definitely think that this will be one of those things that will help you in your repair shops to apply the adhesive a little bit better by using the pre-cut templates, even though they look like they're not really precision cut when in reality they really are. Hopefully you found this interesting and you can apply this in your own shop. If you like this video, go and hit the like button. If not, the other button seems to work okay too. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also turn on the notifications. All the parts and equipment that I use in all my videos are linked up in the description below, so be sure to check all of those out. And as well, comment below. Tell us what you want to see on the next video. I'll see you later.